I have something that belongs to you guys.
Yay!
These aren't mine anymore.
Woohoo!
Are you ready to open the door?
This is the most expensive present ever! Hold up. How did we get here? Let's rewind. Now that we found our home after 10 months of searching, here's a recap of our journey and what we wish we knew before we started the house buying process. Before we get started, you know what to do. Go ahead and hit that like button and press subscribe to be updated whenever new personal finance videos are released each week. Great news is that liking and subscribing helps with the YouTube algorithm, so thanks for the support, and it's free to do, a win-win. To start, here's our house hunting journey. Over the last 10 months, how many homes do you think we saw? To put it into perspective, here's a quick montage of all the homes that we saw. Go ahead, take a guess. If you guess lower than 30, wrong. In total, we saw 49 houses, wrote 4 bids, 3 failed, 1 worked. Hallelujah! We are now homeowners. I don't know at this point if that is like embarrassing that we had to go and see 49 houses, or if that's like some, championship record that we stuck it out for that long. Now you may be wondering, well, Melissa, why did you have to see 49 houses? How come multiple bids failed? Well, let me tell you, it's a hot housing market. Houses were going within 3 days. People were buying with all cash. They would offer above listing price, and they would waive contingencies. And that's just the beginning. To get a better understanding of why we saw so many homes and why we had to write multiple offers, check out my video, House Hunting During Pandemic, link up at the top, and I'll also include the link in the description below for you to check out after this video. So if you find yourself in a similar situation where you've been looking for months, have seen dozens of homes, and put in multiple offers where you've been rejected, don't worry, it's okay. We understand how you feel. We've been there too. Know that you will find the right place for you. You just have to be patient. Though I will admit, Garrett and I, after our 3rd rejection, nearly lost it. So there will be times when you will get so frustrated that you just need to take a deep breath and remember why you're doing this and know that it will all work out in the end. Good news is that patience eventually pays off. For the home that we ultimately purchased, it was worth the wait. We not only didn't have to compete with other bids, we also were able to negotiate the price below asking. And in a hot market like this, when everything is going above listing by 50 or 100K, we feel like this purchase of a home was such a win. Some of you may be wondering, how the heck did you negotiate in a hot market like this a price below asking? And if you are interested to learn how to negotiate for the home that you want, go ahead in the comments below, let me know, and if there's enough interest, I'll make a follow-up video on how we negotiated our home in this hot housing market below asking price. And keep in mind that our home is in one of the hottest neighborhoods in Seattle. And so I'll share with you our tips on how to get the best price for the home that you want. Now that you're all caught up, this brings us to the most amazing day, closing day. The day that the house officially becomes ours and we get the keys.
It's closing day.
Woo! What made this day extra special was the personalized, thoughtful gift that our real estate agent got for us on closing day. That signature ribbon wrap door by Havenly Home was a nice touch. That red ribbon filled me with so much joy and was beautifully done. I have to also mention wonderful gift basket. Thank you to Jennifer Brink, the founder of Havenly Home, for curating our gift. She doesn't know it yet, but I am giving her business a plug because I just love the products that she makes. It truly made our closing day extra special, and it's exactly how we wanted to feel after buying one of the most expensive gifts that we've ever bought ourselves. So if you're a real estate agent watching this video, you must check out Havenly Home for her closing day gifts. They're extra special and worth it. I've included the link to Havenly Home in the description below, so check it out. Now time to reflect. Here are 7 first-time homebuyer tips that you need to know before you even start looking that will set you up for success. First buyer tip before you even start is to find the right real estate agent. I said it before, I will say it again. Finding the right real estate agent will truly make a difference in your home buying experience. If you're a first-time home buyer, ask around and see who gets recommended to you. A number of people that I know interviewed a couple different agents to see who's the right fit. You want to be sure that the person that you choose has your best interests. And there are some real estate agents that actually specialize in first-time home buyers. That's who we went with. We went with someone who understood the first-time home buyer process and specialized specifically in that. Do yourself a favor, do your research beforehand, and make sure you choose wisely. Heads up, many real estate agents may ask you to sign a contract that says that you will only work with them for a certain period of time, where they will represent you in the buyer process. And so be sure to read all the terms and conditions because you don't want to sign something and find yourself in a messy confrontation later. Garrett and I worked with Angelica Thrasher here in the Seattle area, and if you're looking for a home, we highly recommend her. She's professional and specializes in first-time home buyers. Honestly, cannot thank her enough for helping us lock in this amazing home. If you want to get connected, leave me a comment below and I'm happy to make an introduction. Tip number 2, know what you're looking for. What characteristics are important to you? Is it location? Is it the school district? Is it how large the home is? Is it the curb appeal or the resale value? Know what characteristics are important to you from the start so it can narrow down what you're looking for. And it's okay if after you see a couple properties, you change some of the preferences that you want, but at least you have a starting base so you know what you're looking for from the beginning. For Garrett and I, we knew that at the very least we wanted 2 bedrooms, 2 baths. We were looking for a place in a good location that had good schools in the area and that was walkable to the city. We didn't want to be in the city proper, so we already started to look at certain locations, but new location would be a priority. And also walkability was important to us because we didn't have a car. Ultimately, we found this 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath townhome in a residential neighborhood near the city. What's great too is that the location is prime. Within 7 to 20 minutes of the area that we live in, there's the Google Cloud campus, Facebook campus, the newly built Apple campus that just got unveiled, and Amazon headquarters is 20 minutes walk away. We're also just a 12-minute walk from South Lake Union. I'd say we are location winning. Third tip, know your deal breakers. Just like you made a list of all the things you're looking for, make a list of all the things that are deal breakers that you don't want. This will also help you narrow down the list of prospective houses that you're going to go ahead and see. Garrett and my deal breakers included no HOA fees, homeowners association fees, and we really didn't want to be paying these fees because it didn't go into equity, and sometimes from what we heard, HOAs can be mismanaged or paying into things that you don't really care about as a homeowner, that you don't use those facilities. So for us, we preferred to find a place that did not have any HOA fees. Another deal breaker that we had was no rental caps. In Seattle at least, there are these rental caps where in a number of units, mainly we saw this in condominiums, but there would be a limit in the number of condos that could go for rent at a certain period of time in that property. And so let's say there's a 10% rental cap. That means only 10% of the condos in that area can be put up for rent. And Garrett and I did not want to be restricted if down the line we wanted to rent out our condo, but we would be told no because of the rental cap had already been met and we'd have to be put on a wait list. That to us was a deal breaker. It's important to keep rental caps in mind because if you think that you're going to want to put your place up for rent later on in the future, a rental cap could restrict you from doing so. So be careful. Final deal breaker, the new home had to fit our couch. And you may laugh at this, but I'm being completely honest with you. We took a measuring tape to every property we went to and made sure that our couch would fit in that home. And if it wouldn't fit, we eliminated the property almost immediately. And you may be thinking, well, Melissa, why don't you just buy a new couch? First of all, this couch is really special. Garrett bought it. It was customized with, deep chairs so that you can fit, and it was expensive. Like there's no way that even if we sold it secondhand, we could ever get the return on investment that initially was put into this couch. So I was going to make sure that that couch was coming with us to the next property so that we could make use of what we spent. Tip number 4, get a pre-approval letter for a loan even before you start. A pre-qualification or pre-approval letter is a document from a lender stating that the lender is tentatively willing to lend to you up to a certain loan amount. Sellers frequently require pre-qualification or pre-approval letters when they're looking at offers on the house. Sometimes to just view a property, you need a pre-approval letter. There was one place that Garrett and I really liked in a neighborhood that we liked, but we didn't have our pre-approval letter yet. And so as we were working to get our pre-approval letter, that home already went pending and we missed out. So work early on getting a pre-approval letter, because in some instances, it may even bar you from looking at a home, because sellers want to see people who are serious and have the means to purchase. They don't want to waste their time on people who may not be able to end up putting an offer in on their property. And so I highly recommend that you get a pre-approval letter early so that you don't miss out on any possible places you want to see that have these requirements. Tip number 5, know your budget before you start looking at homes. And I don't mean what the bank has approved you for a loan. I mean, know how much you're willing to spend monthly on a mortgage, where you're comfortable, because you want to be sure that you're looking at homes in the price range that you want. In my opinion, don't go based off the approved loan amount. Garrett and I got approved for a higher loan amount than what we were willing to spend per month. And so we really had to think through, do we want to be house rich but cash poor, where we can't put in extra money into assets or go out and travel or hang out with friends and dine out? We didn't want to compromise having a good lifestyle for having a big grand house. And so for us, we really had to consider what our monthly budget was, and it was below how much the bank approved us for, and we're just fine with it. We didn't want to regret missing out on some experiences because we committed to paying for this great house, but now are regretting it because we can't do other things. We wanted to be financially flexible monthly. Tip number 6, remember, there's no such thing as a perfect home. Your first home is your starter home. It may not have everything that you want, but it has everything that you need. Your first home will probably not be your forever home. Work may need you to move and uproot your family. Or maybe you decide that you want to leave and upgrade into a bigger house. See your first home as a place where you can start to make memories and grow into over the next 3 to 5 years. For Garrett and I, we saw our first home as a potential investment. And so for us, we're not thinking we're going to be here 20 years down the line, but it is a place where we can start our lives together and grow over the next couple years and be happy. Tip number 7, be in the know of these 4 real estate tactics. Know the following real estate tactics so that you're more informed when you are looking for a home and making offers. Number 1, having a review date. And a review date is when the seller of a home picks a date in the future, could be a week or 2, of when they're going to collect all the bids and eventually choose one. A number of homes that we saw had and set review dates. For review dates, keep the following in mind. Even if a seller sets a review date, let's say 2 weeks out, they have every right to speed up the review date and consider it within 24 hours. And in a number of properties that Garrett and I toured, we thought we had 2 weeks to think about it. And then we get a call later that day saying, hey, we received multiple offers on the property, and if you're interested, you need to get your bid in now. And that just meant that there were numerous competing bids already that probably were offering above listing price. And Garrett and I were not willing to compete in that instance. For the house we were looking at, we ended up looking after it sold, and it went over $100,000 above asking. Just like how review dates can be sped up, they can also be pushed out. We saw 2 homes where they set review dates but didn't have any offers. And so the real estate agent at that time just decided, all right, we'll start considering bids whenever they come in. With review dates, you want to be aware that in many cases, from what Garrett and I saw, a review date actually drove up demand. It stirred up more competing bids and led to higher competition. Ultimately, this just drove up the price, which is great for the seller, but bad for the buyer. Number 2, escalation clauses. And an escalation clause is when the buyer says, I am willing to pay up to X amount in Y increments if there is a competing bid. For instance, let's say you put in a bid for a home that's $200,000 and you put it in at listing price. So you offered $200,000, but you put in an escalation clause and you say, I'm willing to pay up to $300,000 in $10,000 increments to outbid any other offers that come in. So if a competing offer comes in at $250,000, your escalation clause will go above that by $10,000 to $260,000 and still be below your $300,000 max, and hopefully that outbid helps you win the home. Think about it like eBay for homes. You set your max bid and you also set how much you're willing to increase your price by until you hit that maximum. And that way, hopefully, you're able to win your home despite other competition. Real estate tactic number 3, pricing below market value. And you may think it's crazy where oh my gosh, you're like scrolling through and you're looking at homes and you think you found a great deal. Next thing you know, you're putting in an offer and then you find out that there are 10 other competing bids who have now escalated the price of the home to not having a deal anymore and actually paying $100,000 or $200,000 above asking price. Ever heard it's a trap? This is it. It's basically like a bait and switch, like, oh, let's drive demand. Let's bring all these people to want the home. And then all of a sudden you have so much competition that it's actually driving the price up where the home sells for more than it would have if it just came in at market rate. And you may think, Melissa, this is crazy. Does this actually work? Garrett and I have seen multiple homes where we thought, oh, wow, we could possibly get a deal on this. We need to move fast. The next thing we know, there are multiple bids already on it. And when we eventually saw how much it sold for $100,000, $150,000, and in some cases over $200,000 more than what it came on the market for. So be aware of this real estate seller's tactic, because you may think you're getting a great deal, and then when all's said and done, the home went for $50,000, $100,000, or $150,000 more than asking, even when it was only underpriced by like $25,000. Lastly, real estate tactic number 4, love letters. When we first started our housing journey, this is something I didn't know, that sometimes sellers don't choose the highest bidder. And you may be like, say what? Say that again? Okay, so a buyer could write a love letter to the seller and try and convince the seller that their bid should be the bid that gets picked. And that bid may not be the highest offer on the table. It is rare for a seller to not choose the highest bidder, but hey, it does happen. It is important to know that with new housing rules, you can't disclose certain information that could lead to discrimination. So make sure you consult your real estate agent before writing this housing love letter to the seller to make sure you comply with all the rules. Before rule changes to fair housing laws, I saw buyers have their kids write love letters. Check out this cute love letter in pencil and crayon. How could you say no? This is featured on Southern California real estate agent Linda Howe's Instagram. Her handle is included below. For those of you looking for a home in Southern California, Linda Howe is a fantastic real estate agent that specializes in that area. Full disclosure, Linda is married to my cousin Andrew, but it's not only me who thinks she's great. Check out these reviews from previous clients. Looking at these other reviews online, you can see that many clients of hers are happy with her services. So if you're looking for a home in Southern California and need a real estate agent, leave a comment below and I'm happy to connect you with Linda. To circle back to the love letter point, Garrett and I didn't have to write a love letter for the home we eventually purchased. I did want to share with you what we saw and heard about that had worked for other people, because I want to give you all the options possible to help you succeed in getting the home that you want. After covering all that information, get ready to see our empty house tour. As a fun follow-up video, if you are interested in getting a sneak peek tour of our new house, check out the link at the top right, or I'll add it to the description below. You'll see it all brand new before we even move in. Now, if you found these home buyer tips helpful, you know what to do. Go ahead and hit that like button. Thanks for the support. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel to learn more on personal finance and home buying whenever new videos are released each week. What's great is that it's free to subscribe. Thanks for your support and see you in the next video. Wait, since you're still here, check out these other videos that I made that I think you'll enjoy. See you in the next video.